The Christmas Child. It was a cold, snowy Christmas Eve. A little boy walked the city streets alone. He watched the people rush by. They walked with their families. They carried many gifts for their friends. They all had warm places to go. But the little boy had no family to walk beside him. He had no gifts to give to friends. He had no warm place to go. The little boy blinked in the cold air. He looked at a row of big houses. Each house shined bright. They looked warm. The people inside looked happy. These homes will have room for me, he hoped. The boy knocked at the first house. A man opened the door, but didn't smile. The man shook his head and closed the door. The boy walked away, feeling sad. He looked through the bright windows. He watched children playing by the fire. He saw tables filled with food. The boy could smell cakes baking. He could hear people laughing. Snow pinched his nose and the icy wind bit his hands. The boy tapped on the window of another house. A little girl ran to the window. She shook her head. Then she pulled the curtains closed. It was late and the little boy was tired, but he kept walking. He stopped at every house, tapping on windows, knocking on doors. Everyone turned him away. His toes were cold, his fingers were numb, but most of all, his heart hurt with sadness. No one will share their joy with me. They have so much, yet won't give, he said. Finally, the boy reached a small house at the end of the town. It was the smallest house he had visited that night. With nowhere left to go, he walked toward the house. He peeked through the window. Inside, the boy saw no Christmas tree. He saw no big feast. By the fire, there were no gifts, just a handful of wood. The boy saw a mother and her 2 children by the fire. They looked kind and loving. He had little hope left, but the boy knocked on the door. One of the little girls opened the door wide. She looked at the lonely, cold boy and smiled. "You must be freezing," said the girl. "Please come inside." The mother placed the little stranger next to the fire. The girl gave him a blanket. "Child, are you hungry?" asked the mother. "We can share our cookies, Mama," said the girls. The mother and her daughters went to fetch the treats. When they returned, the little boy had vanished. "Mama, the boy is gone!" cried the little girls. "But look, look!" By the fireplace sat more wood than they would need all year. Folded on the chair sat 3 new, thick blankets. And on the table sat a feast. It was more food than any they'd ever seen. The mother smiled knowingly. "That was not an ordinary little boy," she said. "That was the child of Christmas. He came to remind us that to those who give, much is given." The girls hugged their mother and cried with joy. Up in the star-filled sky, the child of Christmas smiled upon them, just as he smiles upon each of us at Christmas.